Hey everyone, how's it going? So have you ever wanted to throw unlimited grenades that can clear the whole battlefield easily? Like no matter the health pool of the target? I mean spam so many grenades you can't even see the floor anymore type of grenade throwing? It sounds like your playstyle? Then look no further than the Sunbracer Solar Warlock build. I'll cover mod combinations, weapon synergies, artifact combinations, aspect fragments, and everything in between. The day one raid is upon us and we must be prepared. So let's jump right into my build recommendation. So to start with, we have the Sunbracer exotic gauntlets. The Sunbracer gauntlets passively increase the duration of solar grenades, and from your powered solo melee kills, you will grant unlimited solar grenades spamming for like roughly 4 seconds. So that means you can throw solar grenades everywhere you want. Once the 4 seconds is over, then you can use your powered melee again to kill a target and then reactivate the Sunbracer's effect. You can't refresh it during the effect, so make sure it ends, then use your powered melee again. Also, your powered melee must kill the target or the Sunbracers will not activate. Let's get right into abilities, aspects, and fragments. This build is designed to be floating 90% of the time. You need to be at AC 130 raining in Hellfire. So to do this, you lead right into the aspects. We have Heat Rises and Touch of Flame. The Heat Rises aspect is what allows Sunbracer Warlock's builds to work. You'll consume your grenade activating Heat Rises. This will release a burst of cure to give you a small heal while also allowing your final blows while airborne to generate melee energy. You need your powered melee to activate your Sunbracers. While airborne, any movement option is viable, but most people prefer the strafe glide to be more directional control. Compare all this with Touch of Flame, which allows your solar grenades to linger for a longer duration and emit lava around its perimeter. This will assist the damage output of your grenades. The solar grenades are the only grenades that synergize with the Sunbracers, so you're kind of locked in with that grenade choice also. But your melee is completely up to your preference. My recommendation would be Incinerator Snap, as the fan of sparks do a large amount of damage and seem to make it easier to get kills on red bars to activate the Sunbracers. To finalize this build, you're going to want to run Phoenix Dive. This ability is a bit different than your normal Warlock ability. You dive to the ground with this one and activate Cure, which heals you for a small amount. If Heat Rises is active, you activate Restoration. It's more of an overtime heal on you. To really make this build shine, you'll need a few fragments. I recommend you stay with Ember of Resolve, as your solar grenade final blows will cure you, meaning you get a burst of healing. Free healing is always a bonus. Next, I would say Ember of Searing, which defeating scorched targets grants melee energy and creates fire sprites. A fire sprite is a floating flame that when picked up grants grenade energy. With the next fragment we have Ember of Mercy. Those fire sprites will now give you Restoration, which again is an overtime heal that restores your shields also. The Ember of Mercy also gives your allies Restoration when you revive them. Finally, we have Ember of Imperium, which will extend your Restoration and Radiant effects when you final blow with solar weapons. With these 4 fragments paired with your aspects, you can glide through the air as long as you want, follow the rotation, which I'll go over in just a moment. You'll passively be healing, throwing grenades everywhere, and making the fight a little bit easier for your team. So let's be honest, the whole reason you're watching this video is because you have a fire team member whose favorite thing is saying, "Do we have a Warlock? Anyone have a Warlock?" So to complete your build, let's equip the Well of Radius. While standing in this, we'll scorch nearby enemies, give Restoration and Radiant effects to everyone inside. Radiant gives you anti-barrier. This will also protect your teammates from stasis effects. You can make your super recharge really fast if you combine it with Ashes to Assets on your helmet also, so you can spam grenades and recharge your well really easily. The more grenades means a faster well cooldown reduction and allows it to have more uptime when you need it the most. So basically the Well of Radius is just making your whole team immortal during bursting damage windows. It's definitely a must, and I see why people are losing their mind over it for high-end content. Now let's go over the Sunbracer's rotation. To start with, you'll activate Heat Rises by consuming your grenade. Then you will destroy a target with a powered melee. Try to find like a red bar target, as your melees will have a higher chance to one-shot it. It'll do it most of the time, and higher level content may be more difficult. You may need to weaken the target first. Boost into the air and stay in the air as much as you can. Rain down those grenades. When you need HP, then Phoenix Dive to the ground, which will give you that Restoration. Once your Sunbracer's effect is over, you then want to complete another power melee kill, and then repeat the process. Remember, you need to be airborne when getting kills to recharge your melee energy while Heat Rises is active. So let's go over your stats and mods. You would want to prioritize Resilience as you want survivability during combat, or you will just fall out of the sky. So focus on going 100 Resilience, then focus 100 Discipline. As you may ask, why do I need Discipline when my Sunbracers give me unlimited range? I would say you're assuming that you don't miss a powered melee kill, and then now you're stuck with nothing. You want to make sure you have Heat Rises active. That way, if you go into combat and you get a power melee kill, or say you don't, you can then recharge that melee energy while getting in airborne kills. Lastly, let's focus on recovery, as your class ability uptime is very important for allowing consistent healing and restoration uptime. For mods, for your helm slot, I'd recommend 1 Ashes to Asset, 1 Heavy Ammo Finder, and 1 solar siphon mod so you can grab those orbs of power for your solar weapon kills. Your Sunbracer slot, you want 1 firepower for orb creation on grenade kills, 1 bolstering detonation to grant class ability energy on grenade kills also, and you want 1 fastball, so increase the distance you could throw those grenades as you really want the longer distance. For your chest slot, this is completely up to you. I would just match your resistant mods to combatant you're facing. For your boots, I'd suggest either 2 or 3 surge mods that match your weapon type that you'll be using for a damage phase. If you decide on 2 surge mods, then I'd place 1 recuperation mod to help you heal on orb pickups. Finally, for your class slot, you would want 1 Reaper mod for orb generation, 1 outreach for melee cooldown reduction, and 1 powerful attraction to gather those orbs. If you wanted to, you can switch Reaper for time dilation, but that's totally up to your style. My last segment is on raid weapons. For the Sunbracer Solar Warlocks, as your main job is to add control and place your well at the correct time, you'll have no need for ad clearing exotics as you primarily want to build for boss damage. For your kinetic slot, I'd recommend a few options starting with exotics. I'd recommend Witherhoard, Izagi's Burden, Arbalist, Touch of Finality. For legendary weapons, I'd say Succession, Supremacy, Heritage, or Until Its Return. For your energy slot, let's start with exotics. As a Season 22, hand cannon's got a nice buff, so if you want more assistance with ad clear, Sunshot would be a nice option. The most reliable ones I would say would be Divinity or maybe a Cloud Strike depending on the situation. This slot would mainly be for your legendary weapons, as you want like a Solar SMG, Auto Rifle, Scout Rifle, whatever you need to depending on the situation. Some builds will call for a Fusion Rifle, so the new Season 22 Eremite would be a fantastic option. Finally, your power slot. You will be mainly on rocket duty, so bring your Gallahorn if your team doesn't have one, then take up that role. If the weapon is already being used, then recommend Apex Predator with Reconstruction and Bait and Switch. You'll be able to output a large amount of damage in a small amount of window. If situation presents itself, then Lament Sword is an option for a very strong close quarter combat. And for really long distance fights where rockets may miss, add in your Sleeper Stimulant. Before we wrap this build into a perfect present, then let's see what Season 22's artifact has in store for us. For our artifact, let's make sure we're going through and picking up the weapons we need. I'm just going to go and pick up 3 quick weapons we need to get to the next section. Any weapon works for any of the champions you're dealing with. For your Siphon mods, I would recommend definitely getting a Solar and Strand combination. If you want to use a Scavenger mod, you can also. They're really nice for discounts, but it's totally up to your preference. You want to go down and find the Elemental Orb Solar one. While using a Solar subclass, your Solar weapons, which hopefully you're using to match up with your class, will give you the Elemental Orb, and they'll give you Scorch damage. More Scorches means Ignitions will take out Unstoppables and do a large amount of damage. The next thing you can add on will be an Origin perk for specialization, or if you really wanted, you can throw it something else into a Siphon combo, or into another weapon back here if you like. You don't have to go Origin trait, but it's totally up to your style. If you're using the Eremite, you would want this trait for sure. Depending on the situation, if you want Overload Machine Gun, I would say Elemental Fury is a must. Communal Pickup's a nice bonus, not required for Solar. Refreshing Pickups is a nice thing to give you your ability power back, and then you can optionally use the other 2 options for Semi-Automatic Striker or in the next one, Frenzied Stacks. For this one, I'll just put in Overload, as we do have sometimes in the higher level content, you will have no reason to take care of overloads. The next requirements, I would say these 2 are the best ones. Monochromatic Maestro, which gives you the damage bonus for using elements that match your type. And then you want Elemental Munitions to help you get those at the ammo drops, as we always have an issue now with if you're running double special builds, you'll have issues with ammo, so this will always help you for getting the ammo back all the time with those orb elemental kills. Hope this video was a helpful insight into the Sunbracer Warlock experience. Let me know what you think of the Sunbracer Warlock in the comments below. If you enjoyed these build videos, make sure to check out my other videos on my channel, as my goal is to keep videos direct and to the point and be very informative. If you like and subscribe, really helps my channel grow, so make sure to hit that button when you get a chance. And remember, Guardians, the universe is vast, your power is limitless, keep exploring, and I'll see you in the next adventure.